On a cold, rainy evening, the streets were eerily quiet. People hurried by with umbrellas, eager to escape the storm, but amidst the shadows of an alleyway, a pair of eyes glimmered faintly. It was a stray dog, thin, drenched, and trembling. His coat was matted, his ribs visible through his wet fur, and his eyes held a haunting mix of fear and desperation. This was Max, a nameless wanderer who had spent months surviving on scraps, dodging harsh words and flying objects from people who saw him as nothing more than a nuisance. But on this particular evening, fate had a different plan for Max. As he huddled under a broken cardboard box, a soft voice broke through the sound of the rain. "Hey, buddy, are you okay?" The voice belonged to Clara, a kind-hearted woman, on her way home from work. Clara always took the same route, but tonight, something told her to take a detour. When her eyes met Max's, she saw not a stray, but a soul crying out for help. Clara crouched down, careful not to startle him. She noticed the cuts on his paws and the dirt caked on his fur. "It's okay," she whispered, holding out a piece of her sandwich. Max hesitated, his instincts screaming to run, but the warmth in her voice made him stay. Slowly, he crept toward her, his movements cautious, his eyes darting between her and the food. When he finally took the piece of bread, Clara smiled. "You've been through so much, haven't you?" she said, her voice tinged with sadness. Without thinking twice, Clara decided to take Max home. It wasn't easy. Max was hesitant to follow her, stopping every few steps to look back at the streets he had called home. But Clara's patience and gentle encouragement eventually won him over. Once they reached her small apartment, Max froze at the door. The warmth and safety inside were foreign to him. It was as though he didn't believe he deserved it. Clara sat on the floor, waiting for him to make the first move. "Whenever you're ready, Max," she said, giving him the name that would symbolize his fresh start. That night, Clara gave Max his first proper meal in months. She filled a bowl with warm chicken and rice, and Max devoured it as though he'd never eat again. Afterward, she gently bathed him, washing away layers of grime and pain. It was a long process, but Clara was patient, speaking softly to him throughout. As the dirt disappeared, so did some of Max's fear. For the first time in what felt like forever, he slept soundly on a soft blanket, his body no longer tense, his breathing steady. Over the next few weeks, Clara introduced Max to a new world. She took him on short walks around the neighborhood, gradually increasing the distance as Max grew more comfortable. At first, he was skittish, startled by loud noises and wary of other dogs. But Clara's consistent reassurance helped him face his fears. She celebrated every small victory, from the first time he wagged his tail to the moment he allowed her to place a leash on him without flinching. These milestones, though seemingly small, were monumental for a dog who had spent so long guarding himself against the world. One day, during a walk in the park, Max had a moment that would change his life forever. A young boy with autism sat quietly under a tree, his gaze fixed on the ground. Max, as though sensing the boy's need for comfort, gently approached him. Clara held her breath, unsure of what would happen. The boy reached out, placing his hand on Max's head. A smile broke across his face, and for the first time in days, he spoke a single word: dog. His parents, watching from a distance, were overcome with emotion. Clara realized in that moment that Max had a gift, a unique ability to connect with those who needed it most. Inspired by this realization, Clara decided to train Max as a therapy dog. The process wasn't easy, as Max still carried the scars of his past, both physical and emotional. But Clara believed in him. They attended training classes together, where Max learned how to remain calm in stressful situations, follow commands, and offer comfort to those in need. It was a long journey, filled with setbacks and triumphs, but Max's progress was nothing short of miraculous. His gentle nature and soulful eyes made him a favorite among the trainers, and he passed his certification with flying colors. With his new skills, Max began visiting hospitals, schools, and nursing homes. At a children's hospital, He brought joy to kids undergoing difficult treatments. One little girl, hooked up to an IV, giggled as Max performed tricks, while another boy, who had been too shy to speak, opened up as he petted Max. At a nursing home, Max became a source of comfort for lonely residents, many of whom hadn't smiled in years. Clara watched in awe as Max worked his magic, his presence bringing hope and healing wherever he went. Max's story didn't just touch the lives of those he met in person. It inspired people far and wide. Clara began documenting his journey on social media, sharing videos and photos of his transformation. The post went viral, reaching thousands of people around the world. Messages poured in from individuals who had been moved by Max's story. Some shared how they had decided to adopt animals from shelters, while others found solace in Max's resilience, using his story as motivation to overcome their own struggles. One message stood out in particular. It came from a man named Richard, who had been battling depression after losing his job. He wrote, "Max's story reminded me that second chances are possible. If a stray dog can find his purpose, maybe I can too." Richard's words brought Clara to tears. She read the message to Max, hugging him tightly as she whispered, "You're changing lives, Max. You're a hero." Max's work expanded beyond his visits to local facilities. Clara began organizing events where children could read to Max, helping them improve their literacy skills in a non-judgmental, comforting environment. These sessions quickly became the highlight of many children's weeks, and the local library even named Max their honorary reading buddy. At these events, parents would often share their stories with Clara, how Max's presence had helped their shy children find confidence, or how his calm demeanor had eased their anxieties. Through these encounters, Clara saw the ripple effect of Max's transformation. His second chance was creating second chances for others, inspiring people to look at life with renewed hope and kindness. Max's legacy lives on, not just in the lives he touched, but in the message he carried: that every life, no matter how small or overlooked, has value. He taught us to look beyond the surface, to see the potential in everyone and everything, and to never underestimate the power of compassion. And so, the stray dog who once wandered the streets became a symbol of hope, proving that with love and patience, anything is possible. Thank you for watching this heartwarming story on Timeless Storyscape. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales. Let's continue to share stories that remind us of the beauty in second chances and the incredible impact of kindness.